This is Hannibal here, the death dealer, the creature of the night, the vampire. One of these days, I'll figure out which side is which of the camera. As I get back from my second workout, a long run, we're having some nice weather, actually. The nicest November weather I've ever recalled. So it's a blessing to run in this weather after freezing my hands off and not slipping, but getting good balance training on ice. My God. Oh, some rude comments from one person who doesn't like Paige, I guess. You're entitled to your opinion. I actually don't care. I have nothing against Paige. She has a good look. I like her dark look. I saw her movie. The best part of the movie was The Rock's speech. Now I will get into the news. Oh, by the way, one more thing. My DDP interview is going to be Friday, November 20th at 1 p.m. So I will be taking fan questions. In that interview, Wrestling Inc. is reporting that longtime WWE Ring announcer Tony Chimel has been released by the company along with a small group of office personnel, including Derek Castleman, who has been the WWE's director of venue merchandise for remote operations since 1993. So it appears that they may do very few house shows in the future or never go back to house shows, which, in my opinion, is a phenomenal thing for wrestling, as it will lead to bigger crowds for independent wrestling and possibly opportunities for territories to return to a certain extent, because those wrestling fans will need to fill their live wrestling needs, especially in the towns where WWE won't do TV. So they'll go to the independent shows for that. Or they'll travel to shows, which might help their overall attendance. So it probably is a good decision on WWE's part. House shows were a lot easier to promote before the internet. By the way, in Daytona Beach, National or North American Wrestling Alliance, December 19th, speaking of ring announcers, David Penzer, who has over 100 videos on this channel through his various interviews, he is going to be the ring announcer for the North American Wrestling Alliance. That there'll be probably 3 Great North Wrestling wrestlers on, including the Hannibal TV heavyweight champion, Davey Boy Smith Jr., the Blood Hunter, who will be managed by Kevin Sullivan. Blaze is, of course, his valet. I'm not sure if she'll be there. And there could be others, but Amber Nova is also going to be on the card, one of the best talent, unsigned talent, in my opinion. And she has a video on this channel, almost 100,000 hits, of a cinematic match against a ninja. And a few weeks, probably maybe 10 days after we posted that match, ninjas start appearing in WWE. And I just realized you can't even see my wonderful Hannibal sweater the way I'm sitting right now. Which, by the way, you can get these on our merchandise site in the description or at thehannibaltv.com. Now, the other big piece of news regarding Paige, who we brought up earlier, and I am sorry to report this, I guess there was a stalker, and it was very scary for Paige. And he said that symbols led him to Paige and her boyfriend, who was able to restrain the guy until police got there. So I am really sad to hear about that. That's like 2 stalker incidents with WWE females this year that could have ended a lot worse. So that's a little bit frightening. Maybe they should find better ways to protect these women. I don't know, hire better security experts to protect their talent, because they're making like huge amounts of revenue. And that's scary. And also in Paige news, Alberto El Patron is considering legal action against Paige because she's claiming that he physically abused her. Of course, he's facing jail time right now for another physical abuse. I don't know him. And yeah, Alberto's replying that he was also abused, or he was actually the one that was abused by Paige. So that was definitely a tumultuous relationship, that sex tape of Paige getting tag teamed, as Piper wants to say hi. Oh. That tape of Paige getting tag teamed came out while Alberto was with her, which I can only imagine what that'll do to a relationship, especially with coworkers. WWE put out a statement on the passing of Jeopardy host Alex Trebek, who was at WrestleMania 7 ring announcing the Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan match. I think it was Lex Luger that told me the highlight of his days these days is watching Jeopardy, but it could have also been Wheel of Fortune with his mother, who he lives with. And that really made me sad to hear, although I'm glad he's spending time with his mother. The SWE Fury company, which has Teddy Long involved, I guess Kevin Sullivan's working for them now as a commentator. They announced that today. Rodney Mack is involved. Jazz is involved. A lot of people I know, and people are already talking, is the Blood Hunter going to come there to fight the former NWA world champion, who is the SWE Fury champion, Tim Storm. Is that going to happen? Is the Blood Hunter going to be on their December 14th show in, I think, Fort Worth? I don't know. Time will tell, but we will stay on this. Of course, the women's bantamweight and featherweight champion Amanda Nunes in UFC news is apparently out of her December UFC fight for an undisclosed reason. And she's not going to be going against Megan Anderson in the main event. And Megan Anderson hopes that fight can still happen. And finally, I don't mean to bore all of you before getting to your questions, talking about my grandmother who passed away last week. But I just wanted to say that one of my guests, he's an exorcist minister, the spiritual warrior, Bill Bean, did give a nice message for me on his religious-related show. And I do appreciate it, even though I'm not the most religious person. I might even post it on here. And I'm sorry for the people that won't want to see that. But I really loved her and I miss her. And I want to put that out there because I thought it was very kind of him. And thank you, Masahiro Chono, for your condolences. Renee Dupree and the Blue Meanie. And there's a ton of fans. And I really want to thank all of you. And I'm mentioning them because I'd mentioned some other wrestlers before, and Peter Smith, too, who is a maritime wrestler, promoter, fought the Great Khali in India in front of like 7,000 people. He also offered his condolences, and I would like to thank all those people. And no, I'm not going to keep going on about that loss. I just have to feel the need to thank you because your condolences help. Sony Go 5 liked my interview with Tony Atlas. This is not a background. This is part of my backyard. You're incorrect there, Zaire. Jamie, any chance of a Nick Aldis shoot interview? If he could beat the Blood Hunter on a UWN pay-per-view, maybe. But I don't think he can. I really don't think he can. And I actually think he would possibly be too afraid to even face him with the title on the line on one of their live shows, because you never know what could happen. And I mean, you wouldn't want to lose that, would you, on a live show when you're the booker? You could stay champion as long as you want. Booker and a wrestler, like Tony Atlas talked about today. A booker and a wrestler, just like Cody Rhodes, who remembers his father doing similar stuff in his booking in wrestling. But some people have done it great, like Jerry the King Lawler. Big Trips keeping it real, says Tony Atlas called JBL a wimp. Yes, he did. Somebody says he liked Paige's home movies better than the feature film. Sid watched them. It's not my thing. For one thing, I forget the other guy in Xavier Woods. Maybe the other guy's the one that put it out there. Who knows? But I don't even know why you would film that to begin with the NXT title in the shot. I could only imagine the meeting they had with WWE about that. Oh, she wants to say hi. She likes the gargoyles. She feels she is a gargoyle in a way. Anyways, I did not like that. I actually like the movie better, Legitimate. Although I wish she would have had the coolest movie ever if they told her real story. Like tried not to make her so innocent. But maybe they wanted to appeal to a certain crowd. Could I interview JBL? He works for WWE. Honestly, I think I would have got along with JBL. And I would interview him for sure. I'd box him if he wanted to box me, too. Or brawl for all him. John MDA1 says hello. Do a shoot interview with Tiger Ali Singh. I would like to, and I would. Somebody send me his contact information. Someone said started watching AEW Full Gear, which, by the way, Gangrel was on, and he's going to be on that December 19th, NAWA show in Daytona Beach. That Sintro did not like the AEW Full Gear show. I don't want to be too anti-AEW, by the way. I do not want to seem like I'm anti-AEW. I'm glad it's around. And you know what? I have listened to a bunch of Tony Khan's interviews. Yes, he's hateable because his dad is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't have all the same philosophies as me, but he has some. But I don't hate Tony Khan. I'm actually pretty neutral. I would say I'm very neutral. Scott says, good morning. No house shoes. I think he means shows. He remembers going to house shows, watching Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales. That was cool. I remember my first house show. There was the Red Rooster and Mr. Perfect, I think, in the first match. Rick Martel against Tito Santana. Bad News Brown against Enhancement Talent. The Rockers versus the Rougeau closed the show. There was Macho Man and Brutus as the main event. And one thing I'll never figure out about that show, and it was in June 1989 in Ottawa, Canada, and it was a very good house. While we were waiting to come in before they unlocked the arena gates, we were on the stairs and this red and yellow Jeep drives into the arena towards the arena gate entrance, and the music is like blasting, and Brutus was in the back. Hulk Hogan was driving, and there was some people like dancing in the car, and Real American was blasting. But Hulk Hogan was not on that show. So maybe I was like very young, and it was some regular people that really looked the part, but they did turn into the down area to the Ottawa Civic Center where the show was happening. But it's like, why would Hulk Hogan have been there? I never quite figured out that, but it seemed like it was Hulk Hogan. Everyone was looking and pointing, but it's strange. Typhoon interview. Maybe when I'm in Florida, I could track him down. Who knows? 802 says, load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. Hannibal, the death dealer, is going with Piper to parts unknown, where we will train and fight and destroy the aliens in other galaxies.